team for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Who?
Jericho and.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys see this from the Onion?
Oh no, I did not.
That fucking kills.
That's good. That fucking idiot Trump.
Oh my god, dude, we had him booked at Rock House.
Really?
Is he
Yeah,
a musician?
yeah, or they've got the exact same name.
I think you.
Well, his fucking booking fee just went way up.
Maybe I mean because their names looked exactly the same, and he
He made
canceled.
himself
So
way
I
more famous
assumed
because I've
that-
never heard of him.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he can audition for WWE.
Who we talking about?
No shit.
Jesse Smollett.
He'll be a
Smollett.
mania.
That guy who like apparently made up the story about like.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
see,
know, right?
that's going to lead into my joke tonight. Nice.
That's pretty fucking
Motherfuckers
funny.
ain't got shit to do, man. I swear to God.
The Onion
Bill's
is
making
ruthless.
memes on the way over here and shit. I'm
I
like, dude, what
know.
the fuck are you doing?
Switch spots.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I think you can see me in all directions if I sit here. And I can look at you guys while I'm cursing you out. So it's
Curse me
It's
out.
an omnidirectional curse.
no, it's more like towards Bill. You know, I don't curse you guys out that much. He just likes to push my buttons.
Like my text today where I was like, hey, watch this. And you're like, I already did. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was telling Bill. Did you watch it?
I did.
Yeah.
I watched it with Jason.
It was a good match.
Yeah, it was awesome. For sure. Sam, we don't have to do the pre-recorded thing. Let me do
Did
kind
you
of
watch
a thing
that
off.
card, or did you just watch that match?
I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it was
So,
cool seeing the besties
Before
versus
you
White Wolf.
before
Yeah.
you do the intro, just indicate to me that we're ready to go, and then I'll do a live read, and then we can go ditch at 9 to 5, time to feel alive, and then I'll do the regular.
Can we do your pre-read and then pause and then let me set up the other thing?
Absolutely. God damn.
Yes, I'm laughing at you.
Fuck off.
At me?
No.
Just got the sniffles, man.
Why would I laugh at you? Because you got the sniffle.
Oh, because you're me.
Okay.
You're so mean.
Because you're me or hell.
Hey, yeah, moniker didn't just pop out of no place.
All right, there we go. That works.
Can we see you now?
That was you. I was covering
Oh.
you up. That's what I was worried about.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
You got to have the minority in the picture for someone.
I was looking out for you, bud.
I appreciate you.
All right, you ready to do this read?
Yep.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
This Saturday, February 23rd, at Off-Broadway Music Venue at the corner of Limp and Broadway in St. Louis, Missouri, we have Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson bringing their hit podcast, 83 Weeks, to town. They are going to be telling stories that you wouldn't be able to hear anywhere else. It's a live show. Yours truly at BFR, Bill Vagey, will be emceeing the event, and we hope to see you there. Also performing at the show, opening up the show, will be Nathan Orton. Yes, that Orton with his comedy stylings. I've seen him before, everybody. He is mega funny. So if you haven't grabbed your tickets yet, go to offbroadway.com, offbroadway.com, grab your tickets. Also 83weeks.com. That's spelled out 83 weeks. BFR Zach will be there. BFR Murray, the Murray Man, will be there. BFR Jason will be there in spirit. And we're going to have a great time this Saturday at Off-Broadway. Come see us. It's going to be awesome.
Can I get some wireless headphones, please?
Did I cover everything?
Okay.
Did I miss anything? Name the venue, name the websites. 83 weeks.
You said 83weeks.com.
I didn't mention Glory Pro.
You did not mention Glory Pro.
It's all right. I mean, I'm sure it'll be, it's 1 week.
Yeah.
We sponsor. They'll be fine.
All right.
We're gonna throw them some
Throw 'em
money.
some money.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Do I need to have any other music queued up for this week or anything?
Nope.
Easy week, Sam. I am.
Yeah,
All the hard stuff was when you were little.
I know. That's why I stuck around this week.
You ain't shit. Hey, 100 is coming up.
Damn.
We're gonna do something special.
When is it?
If I'm not mistaken, this is going to be 96.
We should get fucking stone cold.
Good idea.
I thought you were going somewhere completely different with the.
Maybe we
like
can
the end of
see.
that
Maybe we can see if.
sentence.
So if it gives us a month, basically, we can see if Kurt Stallion will be in town to give me a chop or something.
He'll be at the. He's wrestling on Sunday. Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe we can talk to him.
Yeah.
Are you going?
I'm hoping so. Like I don't have anything else going on, so I'm hoping to be there.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep, ready.
And I guess cool if we end around 7:15.
Perfect. Tonight's on the Band from Ringside podcast, Kofi Kingston has a week to remember. The NXT guys have a surprise week on Raw and SmackDown. The Generation X gets inducted, or will be inducted, into the WWE Hall of Fame. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Band from Ringside podcast. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks, and welcome to the Band from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. the calm before the storm. To my right, as always, we have Two Beers. Zach Bowman, what's going on, Two Beers?
Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yang. Everybody say,
Woo!
tang.
And to his right, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on, JCB?
Allow us to pull down the good book of Band from Ringside podcast, volume 96, chapter 3, verse 14. And the good smart saith, #boo the heels. It is all good, baby. Despite my low salary, I'm showing up and I'm not getting beaten up to do it.
All right.
Is that the Jesse Smollett? And to his right, we have Murray the Murray Man. Murray, what's going on, Murray Man?
How am I supposed to follow that?
I had to follow Wu-Tang over here.
Hey, I do know how I can follow it.
Do it.
We're live, motherfuckers.
There you go.
Yeah,
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Twitter on BFR Pod, Instagram on BFR Pod, Friends of BFR, Band from Ringside on YouTube and Facebook, and also T-shirts,
Tell him.
ProWrestlingTees.com.
We have the button set up for ProWrestlingTees.com on the Band for Ringside Facebook page. So all you have to do is click, go get your merch, and we are good to go.
We are coming at you from the beautiful Shock City Studios in cold St. Louis, Missouri tonight. We have Sam the Mauler Mall, turn the knobs.
Mr. Perfect's in the house.
We got a bunch of stuff to talk to. Did I cut you off, Murray? Was there something else you wanted to add?
I'm fucking awesome.
All right.
Nice. My dog.
Bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. Like you may have heard, there is the Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson show this Saturday at Off-Broadway. BFR is the sponsor. I will be emceeing. Tinder Mahal asked me to wear a sport coat.
Oh, shit.
So, I mean, I guess it might be a pretty big
It's
deal.
a big deal now.
So I guess I gotta get on stage and do some things, which I'm perfectly capable of doing.
You got that. It's all good, baby. I got confidence in you.
That day one-ish sponsor, Soul Taco, guys. I went to the movies with my wife the other night at the Tivoli, and guess what? We got some Soul Taco. Soul Taco is the best Korean Mexican fusion food that you might have had, but you probably need again. If you've had it before, you're probably a regular. If you've never had it before, you need to try it. They got places in the U City Loop, 2 food trucks driving around St. Louis, Missouri, 2 places in Chicago, Illinois, Champaign, Illinois, Chesterfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri. I might be forgetting 1 or 2, but look up the local Soul Taco place in your area if I am forgetting one. They
They're
got
popping up everywhere.
I recommend the spicy pork burrito. I got the extra one as per usual, so I could eat Soul Taco for the next 3 or 4 days. And you know what? There's some greens in there, so I mean, it's healthy.
Kimchi.
Well, you can get the kimchi too. The kimchi waffle fries, I'm telling
On
you, if
point.
you guys have never had it,
On point.
they are on point, and it is a meal. That second day-ish sponsor, or the day two-ish sponsor, is JJ Twiggs Pizza on Southampton. It's a great place to go and get some St. Louis style pizza. You can go watch a Blues game or a Cardinals game. They have bucket specials. You can take your family there. It's a restaurant and a bar. Just if you go to the bar, do what I do and just curse quietly at the bar so the rest of the families can have a good time while they're eating and everything. But that's JJ Twiggs on Southampton. We also have JJ Twiggs gift cards. So if you hit one of us up, any one of us, BFR Merv, BFR JCB, BFR Zach, BFR Bill, Sam, we will get
Sam,
you. I will
fun.
mail you $10 gift cards to JD Twiggs on Southampton. It's definitely worth it. You'll love it. It's a great place to go. And without further ado, let's get to our 3 count. JCB, what you got?
I don't even know how to. I don't like to say Kofi Mania, but it's on the heading, so that's
If
what
they
we're
say
going to talk about.
Kofi Mania,
Then
there's something going on.
There must be something going on. Kofi Kingston now being the number 1 contender for the WWE title after pinning Daniel Bryan on this week's SmackDown edition. He did pin him, and then Shane had to come out and basically seal the deal after that.
He
Obviously,
didn't only pin him on SmackDown, though, like Elimination Chamber.
That
no,
was
Kofi
epic.
got pinned at Elimination Chamber by Daniel
Right,
Bryan.
But it was
okay,
an
but then,
epic ending.
okay, then fine. Let's just talk about it because I don't even want to mess with it because I got my own opinion about it. I've been holding it for a long time.
Yeah, let's get it
on.
Everybody
Here's
listening
my
to this
problem.
knows what
Okay,
happened.
so here's my problem with this whole Kofi Mania thing. A month ago, we wasn't talking about Kofi Mania. We wasn't even talking about Kofi Kingston. We were talking about the New Day. We've been 6 months. Yeah, because I'm going to use Daniel Bryan's word. It's fickle. It's fickle as fuck. All of a sudden now, Kofi Kingston is the flavor of the month. No, hang on. Just let me finish and then you can jump in. Kofi Kingston is now the flavor of the month. A month from now, God forbid, if he goes to WrestleMania and is the title holder, then now he'll be the flavor of the month. After that point, he will disappear like they all do. Look at Truth. Truth just won the U.S. title. We haven't seen the hot hair of him since. Okay? You are the... I can't believe I'm the only person thinking like this because it is so crystal clear. It's scary. This is a work, everybody. They're working us. They're throwing us the usual bone like they always do to keep us quiet. And we are biting it up, and you're loving it. Yes, sir, master. Can I have another? That's the problem with this. They throwing you this bone.
I have to ask, who's the us here?
The us are the smarks, okay? Those that want to see Brock Lesnar versus fill in the blank, whether it was Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, whoever the case may be. Those of us that are now up in arms, torches in front of Stamford, Connecticut. Now we want Kofi Kingston. Those are us. So now Vince is like, okay, I'm going to throw you this bone. You think Daniel Bryan's going to lose to Kofi Kingston? Okay.
You think it has anything to do with Muhammad Ali?
See,
Mustafa Ali.
He fucked up the joke.
Getting.
This should be
booted?
Mustafa Ali.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Though,
This should-
since he got.
I don't know if
hurt.
it goes this far, but this should be Mustafa Ali.
I just feel
I
like
the
can
fact
see
that this,
him throwing Mustafa Ali into the mix and making a little triple threat stew going on.
no,
It could happen. I'm just saying. I totally get where you're coming from because the same people that are complaining, or not complaining, the same people that are so adamant that Kofi's going to win the title are the same people that are complaining that Becky, that Charlotte shouldn't be in Becky's match. Like,
right.
you're getting worked hard. Like, this is what's happening. It's cool to see it while it lasts, but Kofi isn't taking that title off Daniel Bryan.
hell no.
Well, I think what Jason was saying was even if Kofi wins the title, he's just going to be gone in a couple months, so that wouldn't mean anything.
Sure.
So would you be
this
happy
would be a
if Kofi-
transitional champion at best.
Yeah, well, yeah. I agree
Well, if
with
he
that.
was a champ, but
I
he's
agree
never
with
been champ though. Like, wouldn't that be good if Kofi was champ one time?
I'd be happy with it.
I don't want you to throw me the bone. If you're going to give it to Kofi Kingston,
Dude, that is.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
that's the attitude of somebody that doesn't want to ever be happy. Like if they accidentally stumble into Kofi Kingston, have it like let's just say that Kofi Kingston was taking Mustafa Ali's place at Elimination Chamber. And so it was because you and I watched it together. It was Kofi versus Daniel Bryan for about 20 minutes after everybody else was eliminated, if I remember correctly.
Give or take.
I was a little banged up, but
Ditto.
but
Yeah.
but then they doubled down because they saw that the crowd reacted to it, and they were like, you know what, we're going to give Kofi another chance at Fastlane. We're going to ride this wave a little bit, which is pretty good, right? So what I just heard you say was if they give Kofi, if kayfabe style, if Kofi earns the belt at Fastlane and then it gets taken away from it at WrestleMania, you'll still be upset because then it was all for naught.
It would be no surprise, and that's the problem with this. If they go that route, this is a transitional route. This is the knee-jerk reaction to the fans.
What if it's
going
a transition?
apeshit.
What if it's a transition to Big E?
Well, I was thinking.
There's that rumor coming out.
Break them apart.
And you don't need to break them apart.
I didn't hear this rumor. I stay away from spoilers as much as I can. I watch Twitter, but I have a wrestling Twitter and a regular Twitter, and the two are completely separate. And
Okay,
I generally try to stay away from it. Like, I didn't know the Velveteen Dream.
Don't act like those. You're on with 2 Twitters.
I have 8 Twitter. But I didn't know that Velveteen Dream beat Johnny Gargano this week. I knew that something happened, but I didn't know that.
Well, they filmed 2 angles, so
we filmed 1.
That's not what I heard. I read today after I watched it that they filmed 2. Oh, really? You don't believe it?
I don't.
What, did we land on the moon?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, yes, we did. There's videotape evidence of that.
Anyway, go on.
Let's say that at Fastlane, Kofi loses because there's an Eric Rowan / Luke Harper interference, and then it becomes, well, fuck this, we don't like this, so now it's going to be Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Let's say, just hypothetically, let's say Kofi Kingston wins the belt at WrestleMania over Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
And then loses it 2 months later. Would that be good for you?
It would be typical WWE.
He would lose the next night on Raw.
What would be typical WWE? That there's
I would be surprised if he didn't lose.
SmackDown
I'll be surprised if he didn't lose it on SmackDown that following night. It would not even surprise me.
So
if
he didn't lose it,
if you're going to give it to him, then give it to him. Let him have a reign. Let him have a reign. That's my problem with this, is because it's guys that.
Okay, so how long would Kofi have to hold the belt for you to be okay?
It would have to at least be towards SummerSlam-ish. That sounds about right.
Murray, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I like seeing him getting some type of push. I like the one positive thing.
The crowd was into
that. So this is my point, that's kind of going straight to my point. Is that no matter what they're doing with him right now, whether they're going to push him to the title or not, they're getting the crowd behind him like they haven't been in 8 years. So,
I'll stop you. I don't think they're getting the crowd behind them. I think the crowd was always
yeah.
The crowd was
but they're
always
giving them a reason to pop again.
The crowd was always ready for New Day to do something serious,
right?
And I think that this is it, except for maybe Xavier.
Okay, so how's that happen? How's that happen? That Kofi gets into a position where now
Mustafa Ali got hurt.
Okay, but I'm looking for the bigger.
He's the real victim here.
Okay, well, Sam, cue up my. It's all about the booking.
Sam's like, hey,
yeah, did I say I'm not? No, you don't have to do it. But that's the problem, because now Vince is not even been forced to. Well, he had to a certain degree, but then Kofi took it to that next step when he clowned in the gauntlet match, and now you're forcing Vince's hand. If you didn't force Vince's hand, he'd be just like Rusev or Nakamura or anybody else that was hot at one moment and he decided to cool him off.
But the gauntlet match was also decided by Vince.
Okay, but
that's he clowned in the gauntlet match, like he was going to shit the bed in the gauntlet match. He's an 11th-year WWE veteran.
That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do great and go 60 minutes in a gauntlet match and look good doing it.
Kofi's not going to.
Kofi might be one of the few guys that could.
No, they have 30 guys in the company that could go 60. That could go 45 minutes.
I think that's excessive. But
show me.
They went with a sure
Why
thing.
20?
They went with a sure thing. In
Thank you.
Could they go 20 guys that could go 30 minutes in a gauntlet match and be fine? Let's not say 60.
There isn't
minutes.
20 guys that could go 30 minutes with fucking Alexa Bliss. And
hey, it wasn't.
That's not the point.
It wasn't Jinder Mahal though, so that we all worked out.
Okay,
they got tons of guys that
that's
can do
fine.
that.
They don't. Okay, let's say for the sake of argument that they
Tap.
do, the problem is they don't get the chance to do it. Kofi got the chance. He's capitalized on it, and now he's turned this into a fast lane title
But you
match.
agree that Kofi earned the chance, though, right?
He earned the chance because the opportunity was given. There has to be an opportunity. There is the door not open? Can he kick the door in? No, the door was open because Mustafa Ali got hurt.
Hold on. He earned the chance because he's been around for so long.
No, stop. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. There's too many guys that have been around for so long and didn't get the chance.
Kofi?
Not now, but I mean, there's plenty of guys that never sniffed the world title in any score.
The last time Kofi sniffed the world title was 2009 with Randy Orton.
Okay.
That was 10 years ago.
Okay, so more so
You
to
were
my
50.
point. More so to my point. Okay, you don't give anybody a chance. You stick to the normal suspects, and now Kofi Kingston goes 10 years without a title shot.
You know, I always think about this podcast going one way. I always think that, like, I know exactly how this podcast is going to go. And then Jason throws a wrench into the whole thing with his cynicism and with his negativity. And you just came out of this so mad. Like, this is something to celebrate. Kofi Kingston is getting a shot at the title, and it's exciting. And you immediately throw cold water on it instead of being excited.
Yep. Somebody's got to be the realist around here. Y'all can drink the Kool-Aid all you want to, man.
Goddamn, I hope he fucking
I hope he wins too. I hope he wins too. I really
I've
does.
never rooted for a guy
I really
so
fucking
bad.
does.
So
Because I want to be right at the end. I want this to be the quickest reign ever.
So
Watch.
So if Kobe wins at WrestleMania, you're going to declare yourself right?
No, I'm gonna declare myself right when it ends within months, within weeks. I'll go weeks. I'll give you 6
gonna have the
weeks
longest
after
title
the
run in
fact.
history.
I'll give you 6 weeks after the fact he wins, whether it's at Fastlane
You know, when
or at
I'm
WrestleMania,
watching-
he'll cough that
when
joker
I'm-
right up.
When I'm watching wrestling with you, it's so much fun to watch wrestling with you. And when I'm talking wrestling with you here, you just shit on everything.
I don't shit on everything. I shit on the things that I think that should be shit on. Everybody needs to pump the brakes on Kofi Mania. Nothing has
I'll
happened.
tell you what.
He's got a title match.
I don't think that Michael Cole would be saying the words Kofi Mania if there wasn't something to it.
Well,
There might be something to it.
It's buzz. It gets the people going,
It's that cowbell, baby.
and that's
He'd
the
be
whole
the real
point.
people's champ right now.
He would be the real people.
And here's the thing: they're really going on this thing. You know, they came out. They said the people are the authority now. That's all real bullshit.
Thank you.
That's all lip service. But there are some small things that they're doing, like this, like Rusev Day. They didn't even allow to get off the ground. Like that's like a great example of that. I could see Kofi win it. I'd be happy if he won it, even if it was transition. I'd let him decide. He could be bad about it if he wants to. I'll just be happy for him that he gets to check the mark and he gets to be a Grand Slam. But you know, I shit on WWE for enough stuff. I'm okay with this.
You do, yeah. Kofi would be one of the real feel-good stories if he was able to win the belt either at Fastlane or WrestleMania. That would be a real feel-good story. That would be something that everybody would remember.
Kofi
also-
Kingston in the middle of that poster.
And
We're
also,
gonna sell the shit out of that.
I'll tell you what, Kofi probably makes
I'm
more.
sorry, dude.
Kofi makes a lot more money than a lot of those other guys on merch. That's no doubt. The guy makes money off of merch.
Oh, yeah.
So, but he's the one that everybody wants to see. I said on Facebook or Twitter not that long ago that it would be more realistic to see a Big E reign than the Kofi reign. But now I'm looking at it, and now I'm thinking, I think this is a real possibility.
I was scared to death that they were going to break up the New Day at the end of the Chamber. Like when those guys came out, I was scared to
I
death.
kind of was too. I was
See,
a little
how would
nervous.
that scare you though? Like, I would love, like,
I don't want it to happen
hoping
yet.
for
You
it.
don't have to do it because you can have
They've been
three
together for
separate
4 years.
storylines. Okay, so we work.
You don't
Look
have
at
to do it
DX.
yet.
Look at
You
DX.
don't have to do it yet.
DX was around 2 or 3 years. You didn't break them up. You had Triple H going for one title, the world title. You
Totally.
had somebody going for mid-card titles. You had tag team champions. I mean, come on.
Totally cool with all of that. But if Kofi won at WrestleMania and they decide to break New Day up, that would be completely fine. Those motherfuckers have been together for 4 years or something. Like, you could break them up and bring them back together within 8 months, and it'd just be fine.
If they break them up, they're one of those tag teams or stables that will never not be able to switch back on. Like, at any time any of them puts on the booty pancake pants, and people are gonna light up
It'd
no
be
matter
mega
what
heat
time.
if Big E turned on.
Oh,
those
and that
guys.
would be great though.
Yeah, they have a
There's
longer.
plenty
They have a
of
longer.
heels, though.
I know.
There's
That's
plenty
what I
of
mean.
heels.
I
They
want
have
them to be
just
together.
just as long of a history as the Shield, and they've never broken up.
The thing is,
And the
is
Shield's
those
broken
guys-
up a few times.
Here's why I was scared is because those guys have made it a point, and they do not want to be broken up. They like what they do. They don't want to, even at the detriment of, say, someone having a singles run like Kofi is, obviously, getting this moment right now, but he hasn't had it because they're in the tag team picture. And
Well, he
those
had it,
guys-
but then Orton shit on it,
Yeah,
and then that was the end of that.
10 years ago.
Orton shit on it.
I'm just
10
saying.
years. It was 10 years ago.
But those guys like being together. They like being marketed together, and I mean, you can just tell that they enjoy
And
what
you
they're
can
doing.
Still do it. You
And-
can have the best of both
Man,
worlds.
Yeah,
I
And
tell you
have
what,
Kofi Kingston as champion if you want to.
if they
keep New
give-
Day together.
if they give those three guys, if they donate those three guys, not donate, but if they put some real effort into the next 2 years of making those three guys very serious people, then they're going to have 5 years from now a Shield versus New Day WrestleMania match that could be massive as the best,
Because-
best 3-man team of the last 20 years going at each other at WrestleMania.
New
That
Day's
could-
Hall of
that
Fame.
could be fun.
New Day's Hall of Fame.
Kofi's Hall of Famer no matter
I
what.
think New
New
Day.
Day, New
See,
Day is.
And the fear is, even Steven just said on Facebook.
Nah,
Steven just said on Facebook, if they break up the New Day, Xavier's done. Like, there's nowhere for him to go after that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
Esports.
no.
Yeah, well, right. But WWE's going to swallow him
He's
up.
the weak link. He's the appendix.
He's great with the New Day. He's one of the legs of the tripod of the New Day.
He's
But
such
to break them
Such
up,
a
and,
Xavier
Wow.
hater.
Man, I hate Xavier.
Okay, see,
I love him, man. He's
I like
so
him.
good.
I'll say it like this. Bill sums up why I don't like this whole.
My
Kofi
favorite
Kingston
Xavier
thing.
match was the triple threat between him, Paige, and Brad
Never mind. Go ahead.
What were we gonna
Captain.
say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Bring
I
us
can't
to
even
our
follow
two
that.
count. Yeet.
Seriously.
We got Zach.
What a dick.
Oh yeah, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I was still reeling after that. So we know Bill likes 3-ways though. So this week we had some surprise NXT. I wouldn't call them call-ups, but we had some NXT guys on the roster. So we had Triple H come out and introduce arguably the top 4 guys on NXT. It's almost like Vince just told Triple H, give me your top 4 guys. And Triple H is like, well, what do you need them for? He's like, don't you fucking worry about what I need them for. Just give me your top 4 guys.
You make sure they're backstage by 4:00.
So like
Our
Triple
Vince
H.
McMahon impression is almost the exact same.
So Triple H probably tried to give him like the Forgotten Sons, and he's like, Michael Hayes, are these the top 4 guys? And he's like, no, they aren't. He's like, give me the real top 4 guys. So he gives him the top 4 guys. So you get Gargano, Ciampa.
Give me the Black Bear, the Easter Bunny. You mean Velveteen Dream?
Yeah. He's running around here somewhere.
Oh, fuck.
We're going to hell.
So we get Gargano, Ciampa, Aleister Black, and oh Jesus Christ,
Velveteen
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I shouldn't have given
And,
it.
Yeah, I say you should have let him struggle for that for a second.
I actually watched it. So anyway, we get a terrible video package with some highlights and like horrible voiceover from Michael Cole. But the cool thing is everybody went over.
Terrible voice.
It was bad. I mean, it didn't capture who these people are at all. It was like sound bites.
They called Aleister Black Moody.
Yes.
Yeah, they ruined him on commentary. He did great, but they ruined him on commentary.
Yeah. And I mean, the interesting thing is they're on both shows. DIY is together as a tag team again, as baby faces, going over the Revival, who are tag team champs. And if you follow NXT and if you listen to this, you probably do. Probably greatest tag team rivalry in NXT history with those guys right there.
I think one of the greatest long form feuds of all time in modern wrestling history is Ciampa versus Gargano.
Oh, absolutely.
I can totally.
It's like Tanahashi Okada, Ciampa Gargano. Those are like the two.
Yeah.
And then Tanahashi Omega. But Tanahashi's the common denominator. Anyway, Tanahashi Gargano. Oh God, it's elevated.
Calm down.
Anyway,
calm down.
so we had these guys all come in, they go over. We have the next night, Aleister Black and Andrade have a good match. First night he had a match against the Drifter, which was just there. Fucking crowd sucked anyway. The match sucked.
That black mask was
Dude,
crazy though.
go ahead, finish.
Then we got Zelina Vega's husband versus Zelina Vega's.
Yeah.
So that. But anyway, the whole point is what I want to get to is this seems like a panic move in the sense of these guys, being brought up to generate some life, which is cool, and if they're going to do it, they could do it like this more often. These guys can come up. As long as they don't fuck with the NXT storylines, I don't want to see Ciampa Gargano storyline being fucked up because Vince wants him as babyface tag team. Does Ciampa make a good babyface? Maybe. Does he make a fucking great heel? Yeah. So these guys are going over. They're coming up. They're going over. That's how they should, and that's not how they've done NXT guys in the past. Very few of them, at least. So usually they just fucking job out in 50-50. We'll see how it goes next week. But anyway, what do you got? What do you think?
I love seeing NXT guys on the main roster, whether they're call up or not. I like when they do that. I hated the whole look at this Photoshop picture of the guy from NXT we're talking about.
Ciampa's fucking smiling.
Yeah, he's gonna be wrestling tonight. Like I hated that whole thing. And to me, even if I wasn't such a huge fan of NXT and all I did was watch Raw and SmackDown, that's all, and so I don't know much about them. I've heard their names. If Aleister Black would have the lights would have went out and Aleister Black just kind of appeared for that match, that would have been epic. That would have left a stamp. And not to say that they didn't kill it. They all did a great job and they all went over, which was surprising. Both nights.
Very surprising. 6-0.
Yeah, so that shows a glimmer of hope for the next generation coming up from NXT is going to crush it, hopefully. But we've seen what they do with them in the past. So like I said, I assume it wasn't a call-up. I think, and the only other thing, too, was that I had heard rumblings about kind of some NXT crossover stuff with the story, so that with Ciampa and Gargano, it's not going to affect their storyline going forward because they're not going to fully transition until that's come to a close or they've moved it into the main roster or whatever it may be. But I dig it.
Jason.
I agree with Zach in the sense that I don't want to call this a call-up. This, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, this feels like a Vince move to kind of shake things up a little bit without bringing up a shake-up or draft, whatever you want to call it.
Weird time to do it, though, in WrestleMania season.
It's not even, we just had, Lacey Evans, EC3, Heavy Machine. We already had this, and now we're doing it again. A lot of it just doesn't make sense. The timing is weird. It feels like a knee-jerk reaction to
This
what
felt way different than Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, because they put them over immediately.
And it's the main dude.
And okay, the top four guys.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever you want to call it. Which, okay, that's fine.
Not counting Dream, but yeah.
Well, that's kind of the next point where, like Zach was saying, NXT is taped, and we all know it's taped, but Raw and SmackDown are live. Vince Ciampa is not a babyface. And they kind of position him as a babyface this week. We're the underdog team, and we're against the bar. You guys can look at this all you want to, but we're here to make a name for ourselves. That's babyface.
Let me cut you off for a second before you finish your point. I felt like they wrestled as babyfaces. They wrestled from up under, which means they were always fighting back. They sold a whole lot of the match. Clutching his belt like
what was that on?
Raw?
No, it was on NXT.
No,
he did it.
No,
both on
he was on Raw and SmackDown.
That's okay. Go ahead.
He didn't say it, but he was clutching.
Go ahead, finish.
When he was backstage, when Cesaro came back and said, "I guess this is take your NXT superstar to work day," which I thought was a really
that's a good line.
Shout out to Vice who texted it to me. He's like, because I wasn't watching SmackDown when he said it, but Ciampa clutching that belt doesn't look very babyface.
Their character work is good.
They did wrestle as babyfaces.
Well, and after the match,
in the match,
Ciampa goes for Johnny's arm, Johnny is like reticent to like give it to him. Like their character work was on point, and I feel like they're doing everything possible. They're like Trump staffers, where they're like, well, we got a country to run, and our fucking owner is a monster idiot, like old out of touch man. Let's try to get this thing going. You know, so they're doing as much as they can, even though like they can't. You know, they're within certain parameters. So I mean, their character work is still solid.
They followed it up on NXT as well.
I don't know about that. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Where are we going to fit?
To me, it's going to be a question of whether or not Vince wants to stay true to what these guys were coming from NXT and quote unquote going back to NXT, because obviously we have tape shows already in the bucket. Now, going back to the initial conversation that we had before about Velveteen Dream, Johnny Gargano, you know, 2 tapings, 1 taping, what really happened? Okay, let's just say for the sake of an argument, there are 2 tapings. Okay, you have to get it to the point where now we have to be seamless, because now you're having them on both shows. 3 shows if you want to count SmackDown as well. You can't just let Vince just say, okay, I want to do what I want to do with these guys, and this is what I want to do, and then lose the integrity.
Pause for 1 second.
You're talking about can't let Vince to do what
What
he
they
wants
wanted to do.
and lose the integrity.
Okay, I think I can remember what I was going with.
RIP.
Seems like you're gonna have to start over.
I know you're away your usual rants, motherfucker, but I'm gonna need you to back it up.
Can you pick up like with your thought there?
Yeah, I think I can.
Okay.
Going back to the NXT shows that are already taped or whatever the case may be, you're going to have to get it to the point where it's more seamless than anything else, because Vince has his own vision of what these guys are. See Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode was amazing as a heel in NXT, but then when you got him into the main roster, he was completely different. This is what I'm kind of seeing with Gargano. Yeah, he's holding Goldie real nice and tight, but he's talking like a nice little baby face too. So, I mean, it's a lot of ambiguity. It's a lot of gray area. At some point, I don't think you're going to ever get to the point where you're going to stop taping NXT, but you got to get it to where Vince just can't do willy-nilly shit, because then you're going to start fucking with the integrity of the NXT product and the storyline, which I know you were just getting ready to, I know you're going to talk about that in a second. Gargano Ciampa is going very nicely. Now that everybody knows that Johnny Gargano lost to Velveteen Dream, now you can kind of play that back into, does he go back to Ciampa? Does he go after Velveteen Dream? But you got to be able to keep things going seamlessly, because if you let Vince go off on this tangent, and he's done it
before,
and he'll do it again, you got to keep him on point.
I was just listening to somebody today talk about historically he did it to Cornette in OVW. Cornette had these guys doing a blood feud that was a major program, and everybody loved it. And Vince called him up and made him be a babyface tag team at the same time. So
Well, I mean,
it's not unheard of. And Cornette had to book it, like he had to work it out. And I won't say anything about the next 2 weeks of tapings. I heard spoilers, and I know Bill doesn't want them. But
no, don't tell me either, because that kind of pissed me off when I watched the Velveteen Dream Gargano match, because I was like, okay, this is a great match, but it'd be so much better if I didn't know what happened.
I knew too.
I just don't have any faith in Vince not screwing up such a good thing. And we're only like a month away. Like, I know that this could go even longer. And, we thought it might be ended at one point. They've had a lot of great matches, but I mean, this is a fucking TakeOver Mania card that they're going to be at the top of the card, and they're going to have, match of the year potential. And we've had match of the years from them before, but like, let's just keep it going. Don't fuck it up.
so here's the best thing about the NXT guys coming up to Raw and SmackDown. The best thing was it was unexpected. The best thing was that that everybody went over, and they didn't make them go over nobody's, essentially. I mean, they put Black in there with
Elias is the only one that would be at this point nobody.
I mean, he was a little bit
Eric Young.
Yeah, as I say, Ricochet, Eric Young. I forgot about
That was interesting.
But
yeah,
it was fun watching those guys go over. Raw was very strange this week.
Oh, well, I heard actually it
Extremely
was
strange.
rewritten last second.
On the fly, like
Get out of here. Vince rewrote it last second.
No, they were writing the show as the show went on.
So they
because
WCW
Rollins
the
is
shit out
out.
of it.
Rollins is
Of-
more
of
injured than
course
they
they were.
thought.
Okay, so
The worst thing was that
go ahead.
the worst thing was that DIY got put back together, and DIY that's a major story that even watching Velveteen Dream versus Gargano with Ciampa watching from the rafters or watching from the upper deck or whatever, and Gargano refusing to go dirty, so then he ended up losing, is a beautiful story to watch. That's a long-term story to watch. And to have Vince throw them in together, they wrestled like baby faces. I don't think they were Gargano. It's impossible for Gargano to not look like a baby face standing next to Sheamus and Cesaro. It's impossible for him to not look like a baby just because he's so small and handsome. It's possible for Ciampa to look like a heel.
He looks like a heel.
And he did
Totally
look like
looks
a
like a
heel,
heel.
but they wrestled from underneath. And thank God that Ciampa didn't fuck up his knee too bad
Oh god,
during
that was a terrible spot.
Dude,
Or
yeah.
Sheamus' back.
It looked bad. I just watched it right before I came in, even before Jason came over to my house. It looked bad.
very
it
lucky,
looked-
just in the sense that guy.
Because I had read about it. It's like,
That's a
ooh,
whole
Ciampa dodged a
storyline.
bullet. It's like, that could have been
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah,
That was the worst thing.
cannonball.
That was one of the worst things about it. I like Ricochet coming down and saving Finn, even though that crowd in Lafayette, Louisiana.
fucking
Okay, see,
might-
thank
might
you. No, that's that. Thank you, because I knew I was getting ready to come to a point.
What?
This is my point. Now, let's just say we were in Lafayette, Louisiana. A lot of these people don't have the network. Okay, do you know how many people I saw on Twitter were just like, "Oh, this Ricochet is so amazing. This is my first time I've ever seen him." Blah 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 blah. That's half the problem.
I'm not blaming Lafayette, Louisiana.
I'm blaming the WWE.
We're not-
This is your product. You should do better. Whether it's a
if
brand
they-
split or you having them as three separate equal level
If-
brands,
if
they need to do better.
If they would have had a shit ass Raw, like they almost did anyway, and just said, "Hey, next week we're having Ric Flair's birthday, and Gargano, Ciampa, Ricochet, and Aleister Black are going to come up next week for Raw," then you got something because you're in Atlanta, which is a major city, and the crowd's going to be a little
I
bit
still
better.
don't think that has anything to do with anything. If we saw
No.
guys that you don't know about and you never seen before, how you gonna get hyped up about it?
Is that extremely different than when Jericho came over from WCW? Because I didn't watch WCW. I
No,
was a
when he
WWF
came
guy.
over with
But I
The
was
Rock,
hyped
when he came over with The Rock, and that was his first.
No,
I
he's
knew
right.
about who The
Half
Rock.
the crowd's never going to know it. The only reason that
Okay.
we think that Jericho's debut was so good is because Jericho ended up being something.
Well, and they
Well,
did those segments.
Okay,
leading up the
sorry,
months
I
before,
remember.
too.
Yeah, that
They
too.
hyped it up.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
They hyped it up. They did. All of a sudden they just popped up, and here's Triple H, and
Right.
then here's your four NXT
You-
stars. Go ahead,
It's a
fellas.
panic move. That's why. I mean,
That's what I'm
they have
saying.
no
They just
long-term-
didn't even
they have
market it right.
long-term plans.
No, like there might be some kid doing a wrestling podcast in 2039 that talks about how great it was when Ciampa came up or when Aleister Black came up and fought Andrade Cien Almas on SmackDown in 2019. Probably not, but it might happen. You don't know.
I'm not saying I do know. I'm just saying that there's better ways to do it, and just
Of
dropping
course
the
there's better
four.
ways to do it.
Okay, so let's just call it for what it is. Don't blame the crowd. Blame them.
They should replace then, now, forever with "there's better ways to do it." Bill needs a moment.
You guys are so angry.
What's the 3 count? We gotta-
I'm
we gotta
not
get this thing
angry.
going.
Good, right, 3 counts.
I'm not angry.
So D-Generation X is the first. They're the first entrants into our WWE 2019 Hall of Fame. Murray's giving me the suck it sign. I'm not really. Oh, he's wearing a DX shirt.
That's right.
So, DX officially is Hunter, HBK, Road Dogg, X-Pac, Badass Billy Gunn in China. Is
Yep.
that the
Yeah,
six?
Those are the
Yeah.
6.
Am I forgetting any?
Rick Rude. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but
No,
those are the
Rick needs to
6.
be in. Goddammit.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
So the only one. So none of them are already in, correct?
No.
No,
So this is their
Road
No.
Dogg and Billy Gunn.
I was going to say,
right.
obviously,
Or the New Age Outlaws?
HBK is in.
HBK is
HBK
Hall
is
of
in.
Famer.
We're
None of us
sure
know.
he's already a Hall of Fame.
HBK.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he got
Shawn
one.
Michaels is
I
Hall
don't
of
know
Fame.
how you guys keep track of this shit. It's such a bullshit.
I think because
award.
X-Pac is the
I
only.
can name every single baseball Hall of Famer that's gone in the last 10 years. I cannot name a single
X-Pac
WWE Hall of Famer.
X-Pac and Triple H, I think, are the only ones in the clique that aren't in the Hall of Fame.
China.
Well, she wasn't in the clique though.
Oh, in the clique. Sorry.
Like the actual
Sorry,
clique,
in the clique.
you know. So
Okay.
they're
All right.
yeah. Anyway,
So is this their way of testing the waters to put China in as a singular wrestler? Or is this just China's getting in? This is the only way China's getting
this is how China's getting that.
Triple H did say on Raw, the 9th wonder of the world, China.
And the way he said it too, he put emphasis on it.
Put
Yeah.
emphasis on it. So thoughts about that? Two beer.
I thought it. I definitely noticed the emphasis. The funny thing is, like, this we just talked about this. It's actually kind of been the theme of the show. Can we just be happy when something good happens? Like, I swear, I saw somebody on Twitter describe it like this, and it was the perfect example. You could give a wrestling fan $100 bill, and they would be pissed that you didn't give them 520s.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
Like, that's a perfect example. So.
Nigga need change. I can't roll up to the concession stand with a hundo.
I don't know if they're testing the waters. I mean, I don't know what's so fucking controversial about putting her in there anyway. Based on the people that are in it, it's
Yeah,
a
that's true.
bullshit fucking award. Like, what the fuck does it matter? It's not
It's
True.
a bullshit award.
It is.
like it's not. It's like a slight step above the Slammies. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it's a self masturbatory
I love
thing.
this take. I love this take because it is just a slight tick up above the slave.
Last
It
year's
means
was proof.
nothing.
Yeah,
Because
it means
everyone fucking left.
Right.
They wouldn't leave if it was actually a prestigious, real thing. They would
Can you
do.
imagine Cooperstown and somebody's giving, let's just say it's Frank Thomas giving their acceptance speech, and
These guys
the crowd's
don't know
just
Frank
like, fuck
Thomas
this.
is. These
Okay,
guys don't
sorry.
know Frank Thomas is.
Can you imagine if Frank Thomas or
Sports.
Ken Griffey Jr., if Ken
Hey, I know
Griffey Jr. is
baseball.
accepting his Hall of Fame, and all of a sudden, like, a third of the crowd was just like, fuck this, we've been here too long, we out. That shit would be crazy.
I put on Twitter this week.
I'd feel a big hurt.
John Cena.
Oh, he knows.
Nice.
Just look it up.
No, they were contemporaries.
They say he did move his phone. I didn't see it light up.
Nah, man, I had at least 40 Frank Thomas cards. I had way more King Griffey cards.
I put on Twitter this week a picture of Right to Censor, and I said, WWE put him in. It's been too long, and I had about
good traction on that.
I had about 50 or 60 likes, but I also had like 13 comments being like, they weren't around long enough. They couldn't. It's like you motherfuckers don't know I'm joking about Right to Censor. That's how bullshit the WWE Hall of Fame is. That somebody thought I was serious about Right to Censor.
That's how much bullshit it is. Give it 5-10 years, they're gonna end up in the motherfucker.
They might, and they should. God damn it. Hell, Venus spelled Venus like penis.
There
That's
you go,
hilarious.
baby. There you go. I'll just say this. Deservedly, so DX deserves to get in. I'm not even going to... That said, we can talk about China for a second. She deserves to get in singular if you want to do it. This might be a way to put the toe in the water to test the theory to see if it's okay. And more times than not, it's the way the WWE does it. This is okay. I don't have a problem with this. At a later point, if you want to put China in by herself, then so be it. You can do it like that. But China deserves to be in because she's done so many milestone things as a woman, period, point blank. I don't care if she did porn. Guess what? That was after the fact, and there's plenty other motherfuckers, and there's plenty other motherfuckers that have gotten into the WWE Hall of Fame that have done that same dirt.
Half
Deal
the
with
board
it.
was with Xbox.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's just get over it. China deserves to be in. If you don't think so, then that's on you. I don't know what to tell you. Go back. Look at her singular matches. She was the Intercontinental Champion, for Christ's sake.
Twice.
She was in the Royal Rumble. She dumped Mark Henry.
Twice.
I mean, what else do you want?
That'll do it for our 3 counts. Tell us about F&B, Jason.
Excuse me, I gotta get myself composed there. F&B Eatery on 3453 Southampton, part of our Southampton.
I was there this
lobby.
week.
Where were you? Yeah, I saw that. No, did you tell about it? I mean, brag on it.
Went to F&B Eatery with my wife and two of Vice's daughters, and I wanted some breakfast because I had not been up for very long. So I got the breakfast sausage sandwich.
So what time was this?
Noon.
Okay.
Noon.
No, just because I want this to be established that you can come in
I
at
got off,
any given point.
yeah, I got off work about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up about 11. And Vice texted me, and he said, "Hey, I'm downtown. Do you want to go eat somewhere?" I said, "Let's go to F&B." So we went to F&B. My wife got the burger. That burger, and I started eating her burger, and then I started eating my own breakfast sandwich, which was delicious. They got breakfast and lunch all day Saturday at least.
Oh, that's getting ready to say that's the deal.
My big problem with breakfast potatoes is that sometimes they're kind of mushy. Not at F&B. At F&B, the breakfast potatoes were crispy. They were delicious. The fries were awesome.
I love the
The
fries.
burgers were awesome. My breakfast sandwich was awesome. So part of our Southampton Mafia, and guys, this is my first time to F&B. I know we've been advertising them for a while, but this is my first time there.
See?
And you know what? Your boy came around, and I didn't feel like big timing, and didn't feel like saying, hey, you know, Jason Bell,
Yeah,
or
right.
anything. But
Sure.
a couple people came around, said, "How is everything?" They were very accommodating. They also have some really good sodas on the fountain, which are not your regular Coke or Pepsi or Mountain Dew or anything. They got these local type of sodas,
Excel?
cream soda, root beer. There's one that's similar to a Sun Drop. I can't remember what it's called. Ski.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's not
Breeze,
Ski.
Illinois.
It's not Ski. It's
No?
something else. It's not Ski. It's something else. It was better than Ski.
It's best.
I like it.
I was like, I know that. when I see
Anyway,
it.
go get yourself some F&B eatery on Southampton. Tell them the band from Ringside sent you. Right here, Sam.
It's a great one.
All right, boys. We spent a lot of time yelling at each other. We only got about 5 minutes left. I got some rapid fire questions for you. You don't have to give me a one-word answer, but let's keep it as short as possible if we could.
That's what my wife says too.
Who is Murray? Who is Asuka's WrestleMania opponent?
Mm.
Who do you want it to be, and who should it be? Or who do you want it to be, and who do you think it will be?
Oh,
I got
man.
an
I got it.
All
All right, give me your
Yeah,
answer,
go-
Jason.
go
Who do I
around
want
now.
it? Who do I want it to be is Charlotte. Who is going to be is Lacey Evans.
Who I want it to be is Nikki Cross, and who is going to be is Lacey Evans.
I'm gonna have to go with Zach on that one, honestly.
Nikki Cross is good too.
I was gonna say Lacey Evans too. You guys are really smart. Looks like it's gonna be Mandy Rose at Fastlane, though.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way. I mean, when Lacey Evans, when her thing is just coming down on the ramp, turning back around and going back up the ramp, that means that Vince wants you to see her.
That's it.
And heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Because that was ridiculous, by the way. I don't know if you guys.
No,
Dick ridiculous.
That's
All right.
Because she's gonna be their manager.
Who's
Watch.
AJ Styles' WrestleMania opponent? I know my answer.
I think I know my answer.
We should have did
Well,
this
then
like
say
we
it.
did it last year.
I
Go ahead.
mean Daniel Bryan, but it doesn't really make sense that way.
AJ's WrestleMania opponents will be Mustafa Ali.
Oh, that's a good answer.
I think it's gonna be Wood.
That makes sense too.
Yeah, they were working it with that elimination chamber, especially with that RKO. You know, that's likely.
Makes sense.
Is KO going to come back as a face or a heel?
Face, absolutely.
Thanks.
I think it's gonna be a face, and I'm hoping it's against Daniel Bryan.
I think they might be pulling a fast one.
Yeah,
I think where KO might be coming back, might be doing all these
I don't care
nice
either way.
guy. You don't care?
I don't care what he comes back as. I
As
want
long
him
as
to
he's
come
back.
back. Yeah.
he's got. I mean, he's so good. He'll be over regardless.
Yeah,
Like, we
that's
talk
my
about how
point.
great of a heel he is, but we really haven't been able to see him as a face in WWE. And,
No, this absence makes the heart grow fonder.
and that's
Oh,
the thing. He's
He'll
gonna
come
get.
back
He's
and
gonna
then-
get a
Roman.
face pop.
All right. Lightning round again. After the heel promo that Charlotte cut on SmackDown, was Bill correct that Charlotte is the greatest woman wrestler of all time?
No.
I don't think she's the greatest, but she's definitely one of them. She's my favorite.
She could be.
Man, that promo she cut on Thursday was so easy.
She's
to
great.
Good.
She's
No,
great. And
no
but
question.
She's still
No
relatively
question.
early
No
in her
question.
career.
I agree.
question.
You know, I mean, like she's got a lot to do.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, she'd have by the time she's done with it, she very well could be.
Guys
Easily.
can't even give me that one, huh? Okay. Holy, I think I had another one.
Did you see?
I mean, after that New Day Love Fest that happened on SmackDown, where there was 2 different segments where they were just talking about how much they love each other. There has to be a split up coming up, right? Like I think we touched on this earlier, but I think that they're driving it hard so much.
Like
There has to be some kind of split coming.
One word answer: yes.
Wait, for who?
Does the New Day split up
Before
I think the
WrestleMania.
question is. I think the question is.
before WrestleMania?
Oh well. I don't know.
Yeah. Because yeah.
If they split them up, though, are they going to do it to where they turn them on each other, or are they going to split up like they don't normally split teams up and just let them go their way?
I think they split them up.
I think they should. I think they should put.
Big E gets
I think
the heat.
I want to see that too, kind of. But
I think
I
I think they should have Big E versus Kofi in a match.
Whoa. That can't be for the title, right?
Yeah, Big E versus Kofi.
Wait,
Not necessarily
wait.
at WrestleMania.
Wait.
Maybe Extreme Rules or something.
Vince
Big E
knows
versus
about this?
Big E versus Kofi in a match. Have Xavier Woods in a shark cage above
Okay,
the
there
match.
it is. Okay.
And
I was waiting
just-
for the
and just-
waiting for the punch.
with
just-
Ellsworth.
Have him do nothing during the match.
That was happening.
Just have him
I
fall
was waiting
asleep.
for the punchline.
And then-
I'll just be up there with a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, and then you can just raise it up to the rafters and maybe drop it after it gets up high
See,
Oh,
enough.
Oh,
I was waiting for
God.
the punchline. I was waiting
Right
for
on top of the Bella
You
Twist.
can't have, you can't have 2 black men at the end of a WWE pay per view. There was no way.
Who is turning heel in the Miz Shane feud?
Ugh, God, I can't believe I'm getting ready to say it, Shane.
Yeah.
Miz.
Miz.
I want.
I saw
Miz
it.
to do
I
but
saw it
think
in his
Shane's gonna
face.
do it.
I saw it in his face when he walked down to the ring on SmackDown, and he was sad. I saw crazy sad.
Yeah,
I didn't see.
He can't look unheelish.
No.
Look,
He looks like a heel.
And I would
even when
rather
he's trying to
see
be
this-
sincere.
if I gotta watch this bullshit, I want heel Miz.
Same.
But you just said that you
My
thought
dad
Shane
would
was-
have be at the
what I
next
think is going to
pay-per-view.
happen. What I think is going to happen is Shane because it's just silly
Hey,
on WWE.
Let's remember this. When they turn, you and I had Miz, and these guys were wrong.
My dad's gonna be at the next pay-per-view.
I'm sorry. Who's winning the prediction?
Oh, I
yeah.
should point this out.
Yeah.
Did you do the math?
Yeah, I did do the math.
He did the math.
You get the math.
Everybody was even this week except for Murray and
I win. right?
Sam.
That
So
means I got the most.
we all split because I had the Usos, which you guys didn't have, and I had Finn Balor. You had Finn Balor too. Oh, so Zach was up 1. Total on the week, Zach was up 1. Me and you were even up 1.
Right. So yeah, but did you do the math for the?
No, I have not. I
Oh,
still haven't found it.
Well, who fucking cares then?
I should get some lightning. I should get some lightning round predictions or something to catch up.
You're way
Yeah, that
See, that's what I'm saying. Man, that's a little fucked up. Okay, we gotta figure. No, we
There's
gotta
gotta be
figure
a
out
way-
some way to
yeah,
get
we'll
in
figure it out.
somewhere.
Sam,
We'll figure
edit
that
in
out.
whenever you want to.
Wait, shit.
Hey guys, we got a bunch of birthdays to get to this week. Brodus Clay,
Yo, boy,
my boy.
yo, boy,
He
the
could've
next
been so
heavyweight
great.
champion.
You know how old that motherfucker is? 46.
Okay, I'm waiting on me close.
Carlito is my age. He's 39. Nakamura is a year younger than me. He's 38.
Hashtag free Nakamura.
Corey Graves had a rough week.
Woo. Ain't that well? I mean, it wasn't that bad. Wifey,
she
trying to.
deleted all that shit after
Yeah.
all that came up.
It's
so.
none of my business, but he kind of showed his ass on Twitter. Like, hey, don't be a dick on Twitter.
Well, I mean,
Corey
damn,
Graves.
if everybody doesn't know the issue, then yeah, you're gonna get a little pissed.
No, he's a dick about stuff other than that.
He's always a
True
dick.
story.
He's
No,
Corey
he's a
Graves.
dick.
No,
He's
you're
not even heelish. He's just a douche.
Yeah, he's a
No,
dick.
about this particular point, I will side with Corey Graves. Everything else, I agree.
He's like Jerry Lawler without the charisma.
Mm-mm.
Sean O'Hare would have been.
All right.
Sean
I
O'Hare.
agree.
Sean O'Hare.
No, see, I was
Sean
gonna say.
O'Hare's dead.
Okay, this is what I was gonna say. I
He
don't
would have
know.
been 48. Maria Kanellis is 37. Ric Flair coming up this week is going to be 70.
Woo!
Oh, he's getting that
Look
armbar,
for
man.
Becky
Look
Lynch.
for Becky Lynch. Armbar.
He's getting that armbar.
And Pentagon Jr. is 34. Hey, everybody, we know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you listening to ours. For Shock City Studios,
Check.
for Soul Taco,
Check.
for JD Twigs,
Check.
for F&B Eatery,
Check.
for Schlafly Beer,
Check.
for Sam the Muller Mall, for
Check.
Murray the Merman Murray,
Check.
for Two Beer Zach Pullman,
Check.
for Jason Cornelius Bell. I am
Check.
Bill Avegi, and everybody boo the heels!
Do you think we'll ever get unbanned?
From ringside?
Yeah.
If we do that, I think that might be a problem.
From ringside.
Trademark.
You want to know my favorite, not favorite thing, Jason?
What's that?
Is whenever you like fall